tour. He worked for the Michael Jackson tour, and they caught Michael Jackson red-handed with a little boy, and it was covered up, and they all covered it up. Everybody in charge of that tour covered it up.
You know what?
Yeah.
Shame on them. Shame on them.
I went to them. I said, listen, let's go. Let's go to the media. Let's do this. And they said, Ed, no way. These people are so dangerous. And you know firsthand how dangerous they are, Diane. Okay, Pelicano was a serious guy. When they arrested him, he had C4 explosives and hand grenades in his safe in his office. Plus, he was wiretapping everybody in town. Okay,
me. Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. So, you know,
I don't think back in 1990 Jackson even knew about Pelicano. But I'll tell you, if you grab my book, Ed, or if I can find one around my house, I'll send you one. But I started to really dig deep on this and drill in. And I found that even when Michael Jackson was living with his family at Havenhurst in Encino, California, this estate called Havenhurst, the gardener next door, his little boy suddenly had a problem, and then that gardener was given a big fat check and moved back to Mexico and had such a common Hispanic name that there was no way I could have traced him. But this was one of the checks that Toya came out later and said, oh yeah, I saw checks with, lots of zeros at the end given to people just for the express reason for them to be quiet about my brother's habits.
Yeah, that's when she was with Jack Gordon, right?
1990,
Now, what do you think? What was the story with her relationship with Jack Gordon?
Well, they were married. The quick story is her father said, all right, you keep bugging me, Toya, you want a career, I'll hire somebody to manage your career because, frankly, I don't think you're ever going to go anywhere. And he hired Jack Gordon.
Oh my God.
Jack Gordon and Toya wound up getting married. And I've had conversations with Jack Gordon before he passed away, and he sent me a manuscript that he was working on at one point about being in the Jackson family and being Jewish and them being so anti-Semitic and how difficult it was. Michael Jackson was accused of child molestation in 1993, my first reports about that. He went to Mexico because he was on a world tour for, I think it was a dangerous tour. His family back in Los Angeles decided to have a news conference to talk about a children's charity they wanted to raise money for. And, oh, by the way, Michael Jackson was completely innocent. It was just weird and strange, and it just became, de rigueur for that family.
Okay, well, while we're getting into that, now, don't two of the brothers, there's a woman that has children with two of the Michael Jackson brothers?
Yeah, that would be Randy. Randy married a woman named Alejandra, and they had some kids, 2 kids, I think. And then Jermaine, who, the cock of the walk of the Jackson family, Jermaine, decides he likes Alejandra, and he has some children with her, 3 boys, I think, if I'm remembering right, and then they get married. So now there's this natural schism between Randy and Jermaine. And when Michael got in trouble, now we flash forward to 2003, there's yet another young boy charged. I'm standing outside of Neverland. There's no other reporters around, but there are 70 cop cars coming into Neverland to raid the place. Who does Michael Jackson call on? He doesn't call on his big brother Jermaine to come and help him. He calls on Randy. And Jermaine, from all my sources tell me, went kind of nuts. No, he wanted to be there to help Michael get through this crisis. But Randy was already there, and Randy stayed by Michael's side for almost the whole time.
Okay, are they enablers?
Yes, of course they are, and they have been from the very beginning. All of my sources within that Havenhurst house, within Neverland, in the music industry, and other service organizations that serviced Michael Jackson. I'm talking, limousines and wardrobe and, all these people. They all said that the entire family knew what Michael Jackson was, that he kept young boys, that they were aghast at it. They couldn't believe it, but they would never publicly say anything against Michael because why? Michael was the bank. Right. Michael had the wallet. None of them had any decent careers to support themselves, except Janet did. And Toya, I must say, she always saved her money. Maybe when Jack Gordon died, he left her with some money, or I don't know. But the girls were okay. It was the brothers and the father that always had their hand out to Michael Jackson. And that's why once he moved to Neverland, he closed the gate at the front door 1 mile away from his front door and instructed the guards, never let my brothers or my father into this property.
And so he had a mile inside the home. Describe what he had in his bedroom, how many kind of buffers and warning things he had from his bedroom.
Well, the whole house was opulent. We've seen pictures of it now inside, before he bought it and after he bought it, fully furnished. And he added all these crazy marble statues and, gewgaws around, lots of books. But when you went in the front door, you took a right, and then you took a left down to the main long hallway to the master bedroom suite, which was 2 stories tall. And that long hall to the bedroom had an alarmed warning system. And you didn't know that you were tripping an alarm as you walked down that long hall, but inside the master bedroom chamber, that's where the alarm went off. And I was told by many people who worked at Neverland, security and domestic people, that was always armed, and Michael Jackson always knew when somebody was coming toward his bedroom door, and it was set because he often had a young boy in residence with him. He didn't want anybody walking in on him.